Hello, everybody. It's Eric Vierthaler of Vierthal Studios. Haven't done a live stream in a while. Had a lot going on with life, and you know, I just thought I should do this tribute video in memory of Lar Park Lincoln, best known for Tina Shepard in Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. One of my personal favorites of the entire series. So for this live stream, if all my guests can please keep it on topic. You know, if it doesn't have anything to do with Lar Park Lincoln, Friday the 13th in general, I mean, we can talk about Friday the 13th because that makes sense. That's what she's best known for, or any of the other movies she has done. But other than that, let's please keep it on topic. You can even, talk about grief. That makes sense. But other than that, let's please keep it on topic. Waiting to see who joins. This really sucks. This really, really sucks about Lar Park Lincoln. 2 people have joined. Don't be shy. Say hi. Yeah, my condolences go out to all of her friends and family and all of her fans. I mean, I'm one of them. I almost got her on as a guest for Sit Down by the Fire. I almost did. Because one of my contacts down in Texas happens to know her, and they gave me her email address, and I got sidetracked by life, and I should have emailed her sooner. I should have, but it is what it is. Hey, Lamb Before Time, what's up, man? How are you doing today? I've had my ups and downs. Hey, Alex, how's it going? Yeah, I've had my ups and downs. Yeah, I've missed doing these live streams too. It's just, life's been crazy. But yeah. I hope everything's been well for you, Land Before Time. And same thing for you, Alex. And I see I got a third person watching. Don't know who it is, but thank you. Thank you for coming on by. Yeah. I figured, hey, make this the center. It's not an episode of Sent Down by the Fire, although I almost got her on. That would have been really cool to have Tina Shepard on for an episode of Sit Down by the Fire. But hey, at least all my subscribers can know that almost happened. And from what I've heard from all accounts, Lar Park Lincoln was a really, really nice person. Always gracious to meet her fans, and she's done other films too. It's just that's what she always will be best known for. Is her role as Tina. Oh, I'm so sorry, Land Before Time. I'm really sorry to hear that. But yeah, part seven always will be my favorite because one, a lot of fans will say this too. It has one of the coolest designs of Jason. Like that is such a cool design that they had for Jason in part seven. And the first appearance of Kane Hodder. It has some of the best kills. Although it's a shame that the MPAA had to really screw with it with censoring it. It's the most censored of all the movies. And it sucks that, the only footage we have is such poor quality. From my understanding, they can't really do anything about to fix that. Although now, my opinion with the advancements of AI technology, I think maybe that they can restore the footage. In my own opinion, I'm by no means an expert on any of this. So please, that's just my own honest opinion. Maybe with AI technology, they can enhance that footage, make it better quality, and then restore it in the actual full film. But if not, oh well. And I also liked how Jason met his match. You know, uh, basically, yeah, it was Jason versus Carrie, and Jason had a formidable foe to fight against. So yeah, it was a great change of pace. And I love Tina's character arc. But yeah, I definitely really really enjoyed part seven. Yeah, it has its flaws, like how at the end when Tina's dad pops out, like, but that's not John Carl Beekler's fault. That was, I believe, some girl at Paramount, some some exec at Paramount who took issue with that, saying no, he has to look like this instead of what you want. Yeah, I agree. What the exec wanted was BS. And they also didn't like the look of Jason in part seven. They said that he looked like a frog. I'm like, okay. But yeah, John Carbeekler, he went through a lot with the execs and the MPAA. He made a really good analogy once saying that, ratings boards raped my movie. It's like telling a joke and not being able to tell the punchline. So, yeah, that's a real shame. Really is a humongous shame. But hey, what can you do, huh? Yeah, from what I heard, CJ Graham actually was supposed to reprise his role in part seven, but for more reasons than one, that did not happen, and instead it was Kane Hodder. Yeah, and everybody is in agreement. Kane Hodder is the Jason. So yeah, yeah, and Kane has played Jason the longest. He played him in part seven, eight, Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason X, and well, technically five if you want to count the video game from 2017. Hey, Ghost Rider, how's it going, buddy? I haven't heard from you in a while. Yeah, um, yeah, it really sucks that Lar Park Lincoln has passed away. Yeah, I was really hoping to. To be honest, I feel kind of sad well, not kind of, really sad about Lar Park Lincoln passing away. Excuse me. It really sucks. It really, really sucks. I almost got her on as a guest for Sit Down by the Fire. Obviously, that will never happen now, but hey, what's more important than Sit Down by the Fire is the emotional support of her friends, family, and all of her fans. That matters more. Yeah, it sucks. From what I heard it was breast cancer. So, yeah, it is sad. It's really sad. But hey, I'm sure that she would appreciate, the thought of her own fans doing a memorial live stream in memory of her. Yeah, it really is no joke. Not at all, dude. Not at all. But hey, she's she's no longer in pain, and that's what matters. Yeah. Hey, Ghost Rider. Are you a fan of Friday the 13th? I'm under the weather. Okay. What does that say mean again? Oh, slightly ill. Okay, shoot. Yeah, it's harder to type with this, but sorry to hear that, Ghost Rider. I hope you feel better. You just gotta take it one step at a time. Yeah, I also do. Parts 6 and 7 are my personal favorites. Um, I get why a lot of people don't like part 8, but I find a lot of entertainment value out of it. I mean, I definitely do get entertained with part 8, especially with the scenes of him actually in New York. So, yeah, I tore a muscle in my thumb. So, so pretty limited on what I can do my left hand. But hey, I mean, could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. But yeah, Ghost Rider. What are your favorites of the series? I mean, hey, at least I still got my hand. Can't wait until I don't have to wear this anymore and I can have my hand go back to normal. Part 7. Yeah. Good choice. Good choice. Well, yep. What about part 7 makes it your favorite, man? But yeah, for me, it's the kills, Jason's look, the character of Tina. But yeah, the character of Tina, I love the character. The girl having abilities to fight Jason. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a breath of fresh air for the series, and from what I heard, the reason why John Carl Beekler even got the job in the first place is because he said, "Why in the world would you make another Friday the 13th movie?" And he was saying, "Oh, like do something different or something like that." And then, from what I understand, that's what got him the job because Paramount was one to do something different with the entire franchise. So yeah, and this was released, I believe, around the same time that Nightmare on Elm Street 4 was released, and this didn't do as well as Nightmare 4 did. So yeah, this was supposed to be Freddy versus Jason, from my understanding, but Paramount and New Line could not come to an agreement about licensing and box office profits. So that's why instead of Freddy versus Jason, this is Carrie versus Jason, but it's not Carrie. It's they just call her something else. So so yeah, we eventually got Freddy versus Jason, yes, in 2003. I can't believe that was over 20 years ago now. Holy crap. But yeah, people can say what they want about Freddy versus Jason, but at least Freddy and Jason don't just fight at the very end, you know? At least they have multiple fights throughout the entire movie. Because, yeah, that would be disappointing if they only fought at the very end when it's called Freddy versus Jason. And yeah, it sucks that it was not Kane Hodder in the movie. I've heard multiple stories for why that was the case, but yeah, I heard they went through a lot of trouble to get that movie made. So, even though maybe not all the fans were pleased with the movie, but at least it got made, and it could have been worse. Like I heard at one point it was going to be like a court drama. Like, come on, really? For Freddy versus Jason? Nobody wants to see a court drama with Freddy versus Jason. And one time, Rob Bottin, who did the special effects for John Carpenter's The Thing, actually was supposed to direct it. That would have been awesome. I don't know why that did not happen. But yeah, talk about a missed opportunity. And Ronnie Yu eventually directed it, and I remember watching the DVD of Freddy versus Jason, of the behind the scenes and all that. And one of the execs at New Line was saying, "Oh, we wanted to hire somebody who's a fan of these movies." But then when I watched the Blu-ray of Crystal Lake Memories, that Ronnie Yu was never really a fan of either franchise, and he only seen like I think the original Nightmare and the original Friday the 13th. All the other movies he had never seen, and he just didn't care for those movies. So that right there says that New Line exec, she was sugarcoating it because excuse me, she wanted to make New Line look good with the making of this movie. Or to put it more bluntly, she was just not being honest. Yeah, exactly. A court drama with Freddy and Jason? No. No, no, no. If you want that, go watch something else, not Freddy and Jason. No, no. And I heard at one point they almost were going to change the origin story of Jason, like how Freddy actually was his father the entire time. But yeah, but then the script writers, Mark Shannon and Damien Swift, I believe, are their names, who would also go on to write the script for the 2009 reboot, warned them saying, I wouldn't do that if I were you because fans are going to get really mad at you if you change their origin. But yeah, but they changed a lot of things in the script anyway, like, the infamous faggot line was not something that they wrote. Instead, it was a callback to the original Nightmare on Elm Street when Nancy was telling Freddy that I take back all the power that I gave you. But they replaced that with the Christmas sweater and the faggot line. Yeah. There were other things too that were changed against their will, but yeah, from what I heard, yeah, Freddy and Jason were going to be in court for practically the entire movie. I don't like really, really. That's just as bad of an idea when you know before we got Jurassic World, Jurassic Park 4 was going to be about human dinosaur hybrid monsters. Yeah, that would have been cringe. I'm glad we did not get that. But now with Jurassic World Rebirth, with the D-Rex, the mutated Tyrannosaurus Rex, I mean, I kind of feel like that's a callback to that. But hey, now we're getting off topic. But yeah, from what I heard, they continuously were asking Ronnie Yu if he wanted to direct Freddy versus Jason, but he kept saying no. And he was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. From my understanding, New Line was just really desperate to find a director. And yeah, and so yeah, there were a lot of different drafts, a lot of different directors who were going to do it. Like at one point, it was going to involve a cult of Freddy followers called Fred Heads. Interesting. That would have been better than the whole courthouse drama thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people who understand the source material. But yeah, funny I mentioned funny we're talking about Freddy versus Jason because Douglas Tate, who played Jason at that very last scene, yeah, he came onto the show. He came onto my show, sit down by the fire, and yeah, him and I keep in touch as often as possible. But yeah, Douglas is a pretty cool guy. So yeah, so that parallels pretty awesome. But yeah, little did I know when watching Freddy vs. Jason when I was younger that that someday I would get connected to the guy who plays Jason at that very very last scene. Least liked critic 75. Hey, how's it going? Would you like the character Tina to give her own movie? Absolutely, that would have been awesome. Matter of fact, from my understanding, I believe that I heard a lot of fans saying that they wanted that, or they wanted something like all of the surviving final girls to team up for a new movie and fight against Jason. That would have been awesome. It's a shame that we never got that. I think Carrie and Jason would get along. Maybe, maybe not. I kind of doubt it. Granted, this movie, but to be fair, Tina and Carrie, although they essentially are the same character, but they're not. Granted, probably because of legal reasons. But yeah, but yeah, Douglas Tate was the original choice to play Jason throughout the entire movie. But then when they had to go do reshoots, Ken Kurtzner was no longer available due to his schedule. So then that's why Douglas Tate played him at that very last scene. Yeah, and Douglas also played Michael Myers for a brief scene in Halloween Kills. Yeah, Douglas was telling me how it was his dream to play Michael Myers in a movie, and I mean, hey, I'm really, really glad that he finally got to live his dream. Yeah, he was almost gonna play Michael Myers in Halloween 2018, but that didn't work out. And then another time he almost played him, but then he finally got his chance in Halloween Kills. So yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, um, I'm definitely really, really happy for him. And yeah, and Freddy versus Jason, as of now, that's Robert Englund's very last time ever playing Freddy Krueger in a feature length movie. I hate to say it, I have a feeling that that will be his last. If I'm wrong, fine. I know that Robert Englund reprised his role in like a TV show. I forget what it's called. But yeah, and he's worn the makeup ever since then to cons to take pictures and sign autographs. Jason was an anti-hero in Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah, I can see that. And some fans have pointed out how while I do get where they were trying to get at with the whole thing about, Jason being afraid of water and Freddy being afraid of fire. And with the lighting of Freddy, it always looks like color. It always looks like the color of fire. And while with Jason, there's always the blue lighting indicating, the color of water. I really get where they're trying to get at. The whole fire and ice, one thing against the other. I do get that, but fans have pointed out, it doesn't make sense for Jason to be afraid of water when he was in water, and I believe yeah, in part six, when he's going after Tommy. So, so yeah, fans have pointed that out, and yeah, I can see that because yeah, that logic doesn't really make sense. Now let's talk about either Freddy vs. Jason or Part 7. It makes me want to go back and rewatch either one. I last rewatched Part 7 in like 2022. So 3 years ago now. Freddy vs. Jason. Man, I haven't watched that movie in a long time. I think I reviewed it for Horror Movie Marathon. Pretty sure that I did. But yeah, I mean, it does make sense that Jason would be afraid of water, considering that he drowned in it. And it makes sense why Freddy would be afraid of fire, because considering that's what killed him. That's what caused all of his burn marks. So it makes sense. But I definitely do understand why they went with that creative choice. Do another favorite Lara Park Lincoln role besides Tina. I mean, I have a feeling a lot of people say this, but I know her best as Tina. Let's see. What else has she done? Okay, you can now see my screen. Okay. Yep. Makes sense why that person in Texas would give me her email address because she was born in Texas. So. All right, let's see. What else has she done? Three upcoming roles: Bad Bitch, House of Dolls 2, and Young Bolsheviks. Yep, her last movies. Oh, she did reprise her role as Tina in a Friday the 13th fan film. Well, that's awesome. Ghost Party, Autumn Road, 13th. Oh, yeah, I totally forgot that I saw that movie. Yes, I did see 13th Fanboy. Okay, never mind. I take that back. I've seen her in other things. She played herself. So, yeah, I saw her in that. Beverly Hills 90210. Yep. I saw that a really long time ago. So, yep, I have seen her in other things. Yeah, I've seen Freddy's Nightmares. So, yeah, okay, I had her wrong. Okay, I have seen her other stuff. Okay. Freddy's Nightmares, only a few episodes of that really have anything to do with a Nightmare on Elm Street. House 2, never seen it, but I've heard of it, yeah. Children of the Night. Yeah, not really. But yeah, she has a filmography for sure. But yeah, um, 13 Fanboy. People can view it as like a commentary on fan bases. I can see why people would say that. But yeah, I thought it was just okay. Well, let's see. What do people have to say about the 13 Fanboy? Yeah, and it's directed by Deborah Voorhees, who was in part 5. But yeah, she totally didn't get cast because of her last name. Only one review on IMDb. Okay, not even joking, for a movie starring a grown-up Corey Feldman. Oh yeah, so Corey Feldman's in the movie, but he doesn't play himself, while all these other Friday the 13th actors and actresses play themselves. So that was distracting. But yeah, yeah, CJ Graham with his death scene in the movie. Yeah, and even Kane Hodder has a death scene in it. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I saw it on Tubi because that's really the only Friday the 13th, as far as I last checked, as of recording this, all that they had for Friday the 13th. But yeah, I love Tubi. You don't have to pay for it. It saves you money. And that's exactly why Tubi has been on The Rise. Now I'm curious. Did they add any Friday the 13th movies on Tubi? Okay, I guess they added. Okay, this is their loophole of the 13th Friday. Okay, I guess they got the original on there. Tubi TV. Funny because I had Victor Miller on Sit Down by the Fire. The 2009 one, yep. The first one I ever saw in theaters. Little did we know that would be the last Friday the 13th movie to be made. That was 16 years ago. Dang. Oh, okay, wow, they got part 4. Okay. They must have added these. No, wait a minute. It says you'll be notified via email when this becomes available. Currently unavailable. Okay, never mind. What about the others? Are those available? Oh, it's coming soon. Okay, coming April 30th. So not yet available, but it will be. Okay. Only thing I don't like about Tubi and other streaming services, they only have so and so movie on there for so and so amount of time. I really wish they would just have them on permanently. Okay, the original Friday the 13th, not available. Okay. Never mind. Do I have a favorite Final Girl? Oh man, there's so many good Final Girls. I love the one in part 2. I even like Melanie Kinnaman in part 5. Interesting, because I had her on Set Them by the Fire too. Oh yeah. Laura Park Lincoln, though, she really, was a great foe for Jason. Part 7. Oh yeah. So, hey, Ghost Rider, if you're still here, do you have a favorite Final Girl? And least liked critic 75. Do you have a favorite Final Girl on the Friday the 13th franchise? Reverse it back to you. Kill, 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 ma, ma, ma. Kill, 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 ma, ma, ma. But yeah, wow. 16 years ago, this came out. Man, I feel old. Yep, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Love that movie. Terrifier 2. I like that one. Evil Dead remake. Grown Ups 2. How High 2. Oh, never knew there was a How High 2. Completely off topic. Ben-Hur. Yeah, I'm trying to find their horror section. Because, yeah, Tubi's has a huge market for horror films. I mean, that's like one of the best go-to places if you want to watch horror movies. I mean, Netflix still has its, still has its horror movies, but not like Tubi though. Yep, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey's on there, Terrifier. This actually is where I first saw Terrifier. Was on Tubi back in 2022. Is the John Carpenter one? No, it's the 2011 one. Scary movie. That movie's so outdated. Now here's a John Carpenter one. Scary Movie 3. I remember loving that movie as a kid. Never seen People Under the Stairs, although, I probably should watch it. Hush. I really enjoy that movie. The Descent. Love that movie too. The Bye Bye Man. I remember when that came out. People would laugh at the title of it. The Mousetrap. Yep. Simon Phillips had him on twice, and yeah, Simon's a pretty cool dude. Sorry, I got distracted. Oh, definitely. Tina definitely was a worthy opponent of Jason. That's one of the reasons why I'm pretty sure why Part 7 is one of the best regarded of the entire franchise. I love the sleeping bag kill. Even Kane Hodder has even said that that's one of his favorite kills. Yeah, it's such a creative kill, and knowing that it's a spot you're supposed to feel comfortable in, but no, it's turned completely upside down. And yeah, just knowing the fact that you're in a sleeping bag and you're screwed because it's zipped, and then you get bashed against a tree, like oh. And originally, with before the MPAA censored it, it was going to be a lot bloodier, with blood squirting out the sleeping bag. And Kane Hodder said that yeah, filming that was rough because the limited air and the physical components of all that. That must have been rough. But hey, luckily Kane Hodder's a guy who's in pretty good shape. So I also really love that kill in Part 7 with that weed whacker or whatever it's called. You know, it was, I mean, yes, Jason's machete is very iconic. It is. But, it was nice to see him, you know, it was nice to see more creativity outside of it. Outside of his iconic machete. So that was nice. But yeah, the most inventive, yeah, for but yeah, part 6 also had some great kills too. Like that part with where the characters are playing paintball, and then there's that smiley face behind them, and then it gets blood on it, and then when that guy gets or that person gets their head smashed through that metal, and then the metal, and then is in the shape of their face. That was awesome. And in part 6, I definitely love how with there was that scene with the kids, and then that one kid said, "So what were you gonna be when you grew up?" That was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. Well, yeah, yeah, and Tom McLaughlin, I had him on the podcast, and yeah, Tom is a pretty awesome guy. But yeah, yeah. With all that being said, what are some of your favorite kills? Least liked critic. I do like how in the 2009 one there was that girl hiding underneath that bridge or whatever. And Jason then stabs in between it, and then the machete goes through her head, and the look she had on her face. I can understand that some people might find the look on her face unintentionally funny. And even with that asshole character, the way how he screams in the 2009 one, some people might find that scream unintentionally funny. But yeah. Um, but yeah, Jason Goes to Hell. That one's bloody. I do like how in part 8, how that guy's punching Jason, and then he gets tired, and then Jason punches his head off. That was awesome. The bed kill in Freddy vs. Jason. Yes, that is a great kill. But yeah, it shows just how strong Jason is, and yeah, it's very creative. It's painful. Yeah. I also love how in part 8, although this wasn't a kill, but Jason storming through Manhattan, he kicks the radio, and then those punks are, trying to antagonize Jason, but then he takes the mask off, and they're like, "Okay, man, it's cool, it's cool." That's such an entertaining scene. I love that scene. When I saw part when I saw part 2 in theaters, that part when that girl's spraying the perfume and then she sprays it onto her private part. The whole theater was roaring in laughter at that. That was funny. Part 3 in theaters wasn't the best experience because the 3D was terrible. It was so bad. It was blurry and very disorientating. And I wish I saw the 2D showing instead. Maybe the theater that they played it on just was not meant to play 3D movies on that screen. I don't know entirely, but yeah. Oh yeah, one other kill I love is in part 5 with that belt, going around those person's eyes, and then Roy's twisting it. Oh, I love that kill. Brutal. And even in part 5, when Deborah Voorhees gets those giant scissors into her eyes. Oh man, that was awesome. Yeah, and even in Jason X, when Jason grabs that girl's head and then freezes it and then smashes it. That a lot of fans agree, including myself, that that's one of the best kills of the entire franchise. Parts 3 and 4, I do like part 3 because it's revolutionary for the entire franchise. It was the beginning of the iconic hockey mask. And part 4, I like part 4, but I guess just kills wise, I guess just I guess there were other movies that had better kills. Well, yeah. Well, anyways, I think I'm gonna wrap this up now. Thank you for all who stopped by. And yeah, you all have a fantastic day. And rest in peace, Lar Park Lincoln. Sucks I never got to have her sign an autograph personalized to me. But hey, I can buy an autograph from her online. Same thing I did with Rico Browning. Never got to get him to sign anything for me. But I got a signed Gilman mask now that I have to remind me of. Oh, that reminds me. Lara Park Lincoln's death reminds me of exactly why that I started up my podcast in the first place. Because I wanted to get a hold of Rico Browning the Gilman actor, for the longest time, but then he died, and I missed my chance forever. And so I wanted redemption, so that's why I got a hold of Sarah Karloff, and I didn't even intend on it to turn into an entire podcast, but it did. And I feel proud of myself that I turned a negative into a positive. Sucks I missing out on Lar Park Lincoln too, but hey, I've done it before with turning regret upside down. So yeah. What do I think of Megan? I enjoy it. It's an upcoming sequel. I will give it a watch. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Take care. Bye bye.